What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Phantom, and welcome to a brand new reaction video. This is not going to be part of Analog Horror Week. Sadly enough, I wanted to do this for its own dedicated video. Instead of just being, another Analog Horror series that is for Analog Horror Week. No, this one is created by a YouTuber that I've, in the last couple months, have definitely grown attached to their videos because of just how good they are. This is Pastra's analog horror series, Dreams of an Insomniac. Now, one thing I'm really hoping for is for horror, like good horror, because Pastra has this kind of obsession with horror like I do. I just love horror. It's my favorite genre that I've ever delved into. And I'm gonna hope that this is also gonna be that very entertaining analog horror. But currently there are 4 videos for Dreams of an Insomniac. We have a Haunted Halloween PSA, Somniac, or in Loving Memory. That's okay, that's kind of weird how that changes. Family Photo Album and Foundation Archive. This seems like it's going to be quite a long one, so if you do enjoy, I want to see some more. Oh, I hit the mic. If you do want to see some more analog horror, or just more horror content in general, I think you know exactly what to do. But also, I'll link Castra's channel along with his playlist on this. And make sure to like, comment, and or if you're feeling like it, subscribe to his channel, which is just super good content. But anyways, let's hop into this with Dreams of Insomniac Volume 0, The Haunted Halloween PSA. Your name is Tommy Mark. Well, really? Stuttering on like the first. Oh my god. How do you say that? Merrick. I'm gonna say Merrick. Alright. While visiting your old family home, you stumble across a strange set of tapes in the attic. Out of curiosity, you decide to watch them on your old CRT. You think they might be haunted. While watching the tapes, you begin to see and hear things that weren't meant to be there. For some reason, they felt oddly familiar to you. Dreams of an Insomniac, Volume 0. Haunted Halloween PSA. Okay, already starting off good.
Residents of Eastridge County were left baffled today at the news of a supposed break-in that happened in the early hours of the morning. The break-in occurred at the local Halloween retail store, Grimzo's, with the culprit of this break-in having stolen one thing, and one thing only.
Yeah, so I got to the store early this morning and I see, of course, the door is smashed to a lot of pieces. Obviously I checked inside and all the shelves are everywhere. Everything's smashed up pretty good.
Okay. Okay. I'm not criticizing this. But why does this man look like he's being forced to do this? It's like someone with like pointing a gun at him off on the side, forcing him to say this. I don't know why, but that's what his face gives me. It's just so funny. No, that actually, if that, I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, I probably should put on subtitles. Oh, no, because those are audio. See, I don't like trying to use auto-generated subtitles mostly when I do analog horror reactions, just so I could make sure that I actually get proper, uh, correct dialogue, so I don't misinterpret anything. But we paused like probably not even a minute in.
Buddy's
But
still
let's
there though, so I guess that's good. The only thing that seemed to be missing was the costume alone.
costumes.
Don't know who takes just a costume.
This bizarre set of events has left many residents baffled as to what the intentions behind this strange robbery were. No security footage could be collected to reveal the identity of the culprit, leading many to speculate who this mysterious costume thief really is. Were they under the influence? A young teenager desperate to have a costume for an upcoming party? Did this robbery even happen? As of right now, it's anyone's guess.
Oh, if you ask me, this whole story is just a bunch of malarkey. So
Pastra. That's Pastra. Okay, if you hear any like weird noise in the video, that is me adjusting my microphone because I have to kind of I'm like leaned back kind of right now. You can't see it because I don't have a webcam right now, and I don't think I ever will. But I'm kind of like leaned back, so I have to kind of adjust it to make sure that it's hearing my voice, and it's aimed directly at where my voice is. So yeah, Sheehan Grimm, skeptical civilian. A lot of names. These names have for some reason been struggle century on my brain.
kids break in some Halloween shop for a costume. Yeah, no, not even stealing money. If kids break in there, they're stealing at least some money. It's just another trumped up story for a small newspaper in an uneventful town when the newspaper company's probably running broke in a few months. I wouldn't trust a single bit of it. Pretty much nothing from that newspaper can be trusted anyway. Oh, to think they said our small town representative was corrupt. Now,
Whether you believe this ridiculous story or not, one thing is certain. Do not trust anyone you see wearing this costume on Halloween night. Eastridge County has been left in a state of panic and disarray this Halloween night after the disappearances of 6 young children in the area. The disappearances began at 6 o'clock sharp, with reports telling me that they continued through the night until finally coming to a stop exactly 1 hour later.
It all just happened so fast, you know?
Alex
One
Williams
minute we're having a regular Halloween night, everyone's trick-or-treating like normal, and next thing you know, here comes a mother around the corner who's looking for her kid. So we're all trying to help her out. You know, we're looking up and down the streets for where this kid went. We don't think anything of it. And then another mother comes over, and she has the same problem. And then another, and next thing you know, everyone starts to panic. The police are getting involved. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows where these kids went, and nobody knows who did it.
The names of the
Wait, 6? Hang on a minute. What kind of FNAF thing's going on? Bro. I shouldn't say that. FNAF, I just do this stuff where I just kind of have to force references when they're probably not even. Well, maybe this one kind of would be a little bit intentional, but probably not. I'm probably looking way into this and trying to point out references when they actually aren't there. Yeah, I do that a lot. Oh my god, why do I always have to do this for my videos where I always have to make some weird joke? Not even be that. Okay, I'm just
the
gonna
missing
continue.
children are as follows: Jason McDonald, John Thompson, Ashley Wright.
Okay. Oh my god, that is clever. That is really good at making eyes start to water. You see, you see this, their eyes, and how they have there's something really off about them, that is how you do that stuff. Where you can, if by doing that simple design choice, it just makes your eyes start watering.
William Lewis, Norman Harris, and Sam Wilson. Police have spent the better part of the night searching for both these children as well as the culprit behind this heinous crime. While no one in the local area has been suspected yet, an eyewitness report described the culprit as wearing an orange, striped costume with horns, a tail,
Whiskers.
and a black mask depicting bright yellow eyes and teeth. It's advised that all residents of Eastridge County avoid anyone seen outside who fits this description. As well as this, an officer on duty tonight had this to say regarding the matter.
It breaks my heart to hear the horrible tragedy which has come over our town tonight. I promise, not only as an officer on duty, but as a father myself, that these children will be found and the culprit behind these horrible kidnappings will be brought to justice.
As police continue to investigate, several mandates have been put forward in order to ensure the safety of Eastridge County residents. It is requested that all residents stay indoors, keep all doors and windows locked, and it is heavily advised to not trust anyone you see wearing this costume.
Whoa. Okay, so this is something for the police. Eastridge County Police. Where's that ending? The thing that the tape that we were watching. On the night of November 6, 1968, these photos were taken by a security camera located in the Grimsow's retail store at exactly 6 a.m. Lights appear to be turned on by themselves. No other disturbances are apparent. Motion was detected within the store. Items were thrown around and damaged. First contact. Whoa. These photos, as well as a description from an eyewitness. Oh, my eyes. That is amazing art. That actually is making my eyes water. With the only two pieces of information we have regarding the anomalous entity known as the Eastridge Demon. Until today,
After multiple years of extensive mental and physical therapy, Officer Kruger, a surviving victim of the demon, was finally able to inform detectives of the events that transpired on the night he came face to face with this dangerous creature. With the information he provided, we now have a better understanding of the capabilities of this threat and how our personnel can combat it.
Now wait. Text this. Ooh. See, one common thing in analog horrors is if the moment you start hearing text-to-speech, don't trust it. Always text-to-speech normally never ends well. But maybe it isn't a bad thing here. Who knows?
Firstly, the creature appears to be capable of causing both visual and auditory hallucinations to those that are within close proximity to it. This makes it incredibly difficult to locate and contain the creature. As a precaution against this, all ECPD personnel must operate alongside a fellow officer at all times. If you are alone at any point, attempt to locate your nearest fellow officer as quickly as possible. Do not let the demon fool you. Grab a hold of the nearest object you can to discern your surroundings. If you see or hear someone you know nearby, it is not them. Once you have located a fellow officer, vacate the area until the effects of these hallucinations begin to fade away.
Okay.
Secondly, physical contact with a demon is incredibly dangerous. Following his encounter with this creature, Officer Kruger had developed severe physical abnormalities which are still being treated to this day. The most significant of these abnormalities include discoloration of the skin.
Your weight loss. Tightening of skin. Fusion of bone and flesh. Teeth growing while they shouldn't. Bleeding from every orifice.
It is imperative that all ECPD personnel attempt to keep a level of distance.
That, I was not expecting that. My eyes are getting to that point where they want to start watering. Oh my god.
From the demon at all times.
Okay.
Do not attempt to approach it unless it is absolutely necessary or it has been terminated. In the event that physical contact is made, approach a fellow officer as soon as possible and seek help. Finally, it is important that all ECPD personnel remember that the Eastridge demon is incredibly intelligent and is aware that it is being hunted. It will attempt to mislead you and will look for moments where you are most vulnerable. This creature should be treated as if it were human. Do not let it use its tricks against you. Do not let it touch you. Do not attempt to communicate with it. And above all else, do not trust anyone you encounter wearing this costume.
It will steal your voice. Ooh. Beware the smiling snatcher. I see something in the background. Haha. PSA emergency alert system. I see a face in the background. Can't fool me there. Rules of the season. Presented by Lankman Foundation. Served by Mortimer
As Halloween
Gray.
night begins to set in, all residents of Eastridge County should be reminded that the Smiling Snatcher is out tonight. This monster is very real and threatens the safety of all Eastridge County residents. But don't worry, so long as these 5 simple rules are followed, you have nothing to worry about. Rule number 1. Remember the curfew. No trick-or-treaters should be outside past 6 o'clock p.m. That is when the Smiling Snatcher comes out to play. Rule number 2. Keep all doors and windows in your house locked. That way the Smiling Snatcher cannot come inside. Rule number 3. You do not hear the knocking at your doors or windows.
Whoa.
Rule number 4. You do not hear the knocking at your doors. Rule number 4. If you see or hear someone you know outside past curfew, that is not them. That is the Smiling Snatcher wearing their skin. And finally, the most important rule of all. Rule number 5. Do not trust anyone you see wearing this costume.
Oh no. Oh. Oh. Oh, that is so effective. Alright, buddy. Oh. Oh, that was a great introduction to this series. Now, I don't really have much to really kind of discuss about this. I think it pretty much kind of said it all, but basically, demon walking around this little town, wears this specific costume, hallucination when you near, uh, don't trust people you see outside after 6 a.m. Do not be outside after 6 a.m. And don't and remember, you do not hear knocking from your doors or windows. But I say that's a great introduction to this series, and we're just gonna move on to this next one. This is In Loving Memory.
Mr. Chrome to protect.
Ooh, wait. Oh wait, is this gonna be? Hang on, I'll have to make sure about something. After viewing the first tape you found in the attic, you found yourself too afraid to put another in your VCR. Trying to forget about what you saw, you went to bed that night and tried to get some much needed rest. But those things you witnessed, those things you heard, they kept you up. The curiosity began to eat away at you, so you went back to your CRT. Late into the night, despite your fear, you put in another tape.
Wow, this whole thing is just a bunch of malarkey. A bunch of kids going into some Halloween store to steal a costume? Yeah, no. If you ask me, this whole thing is just some trumped up news story for some small town.
Alright, cut, come on. Do you think anyone's gonna believe this? We're trying to make a news story here, man. Come on. What do you mean we're running out of time? Fine, we'll use one of the older cuts.
Dream Son of an Insomniac. In Loving Memory. I'm great that I decided to watch this. It's been a little bit since I've watched an analog horror. In Loving Memory of Kenneth Kruger, 1956 to 1987.
A feeling of sorrow has hung over Eastridge County this Halloween night after the unfortunate...
Okay, I can already think. I'm already gonna be theorizing about something. Anytime you start to hear this guy's voice, do not think that he is being sincere. What he's saying, he means it. It is not someone you can trust.
passing of the late Kenneth Kruger. Kruger was a dedicated and passionate officer who always put the people of Eastridge County before himself. He was not only a respected officer, but also a beloved member of our community and a caring father. Kruger's passing occurred late into the night, with officers discovering his body after they had received reports of his son, Klaus, being heard screaming from inside their home. After arriving at the scene of the crime, they found his body hanging inside his son's closet. As well as his body, officers on the scene found this note left on his son's bed. The disappearance is that...
What? Bro, I can't. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Too much. Oh my god. Guessing you can only go up to that. kind of pee. To my dear son, I know something, something, something. Oh my god. Sorry, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna give up. I cannot read that. I'm gonna hope that this next scene at least reads it, or they probably aren't. And I'll probably have to see if there's a video that kind of can read some of this, hopefully. Unless it doesn't explain it when I click on pause.
The disappearances that occurred last year affected Kruger more than any other officer on the case. He was very close to many of the families involved, giving him a sense of responsibility for solving the case. This quickly led to rage, sorrow, and regret, which eventually became too much for him to bear. Nobody was there to listen to Kruger in his time of need, but now we will make sure that his story is told. If you or anyone else you know are suffering from any mental health issues, don't hesitate to call this number and seek help.
You are alone. This place will be your tomb.
Help. Please help me.
1996.
I just want to die. Why won't you let me die?
Because I still have use for you yet.
Whoa, ho, ho. That's probably the demon. Loving memory. That is yet another good thing. Now, another thing I can now kind of try to theorize about is, for some reason, this demon is keeping Kruger, or Kenneth, alive. I'm gonna call him Kenneth so I can just make it easier on myself. Because he still has a use for him. Family photo album.
Enter a prompt here. Okay, can't be that hard.
Oh, wait. I almost forgot about this. Looking through the collection of tapes once more, you find a set that seems out of place. They're kept in a secret box with the name Alex Williams cruelly written on it, but what looks like to be a cheap black marker. Looking inside, you can see all the tapes within are labeled as being part of a Foundation archive. Curiosity gets the best of you once more. You put the first tape in you find in your VCR. Viewing of this tape is meant only for the eyes of authorized Foundation personnel. Unsolicited viewings may lead to termination. Dreams of an Insomniac. Family photo album. On the night of January, I'm gonna pause this. On the night of January 6th, 1987, the ECPD, oh my god, had received a phone call from a distressed man reporting that something was trying to break into his home. Upon the dispatcher's arrival, he, as well as anyone who may have been living in the house, were reported missing. The only evidence that could be found at the scene of the crime were a photo album, as well as well as a camcorder which seemingly contains footage of the events which transpired on that night. Oh, family photo. Upon the opening of the photo album, detectives were baffled to find that all the photos of him were horribly distorted. This made it incredibly difficult to identify the people depicted. January 6, 1998, search number 6. First night out. When detectives questioned neighboring residents about the identity of the family in the photos, none were able to provide any useful information. One resident went as far to say that no family has ever lived in that house. It was like they never existed.
Sammy? Sammy, is that you? I'm right here, Sammy. You're gonna have to help me, though, honey. I can't find you.
I'm behind you.
Goodbye. While the culprit behind them disappearances remains a mystery. Several photos in the album, as well as the 911 call made that night, suggest they may not be human. Run! But I know he probably didn't make it.
Please send help. There's someone or something trying to get in my house. I don't know what it wants. No, I didn't get located. I'm telling you, it's the demon. It took him, and now it's going to take me. Why do you keep using his face? Why are you doing this to me?
And he went to it. that's when they found it.
Hey, Chief. I think I found something.
Love you. The only clear photo of the perpetrator. Family photo album. Oh my god, that was that looked so good, and that was so good. But now,
You sick of the 9-to-5 grind? Ever thought about becoming the voice behind iconic characters? With over a decade of
and with that, we move on to the final video that's publicly out. Dreams of an Insomniac, Volume 1, Foundation Archive. After watching the collection of tapes, you knew what you had to do. Late that night, you left your home, hitching a ride with a taxi, making your way towards that place you saw in the tapes. You didn't know what to expect when you arrived there. For all you knew, might not even be around anymore. The thought of what you might see there terrified you, but filled with a new purpose, you marched towards it regardless. The driver dropped you off far from your destination, not wanting anything to do with where you told him you were going. And so you walked. For hours, you walked along a pathway of dirt and gravel, passing through a part of the country that felt like a ghost town. It has been so long since you stepped foot here, yet everything felt so familiar. The moon loomed high overhead when you finally arrived at your destination, the Lankman's Asylum. The place was now boarded up and abandoned, a husk of its former self. You stood in front of the entrance to it for what felt like an eternity. You knew what you had to do there, but you didn't have the strength to do it. Eventually, the dread became too much to bear, so you turned away and got ready to walk all the way back. But then, you heard something, a bellowing, calling to you from deeper within the forest. You recognized the creature's call and moved beyond the asylum as you ventured into the forest to meet someone you never thought you'd see again. Oh, this sounds like it's gonna be a banger. And this is 23 minutes. The longest in the series by far. Also, I hope there isn't no unlisted videos that I'm like missing, because I'm not very keen as to make a note of seeing those. But let's start this good stuff. Warning, this video contains flashing lights, graphic depictions of violence, and loud noises / jump scare. Jump? Oh no. I can bear through this.
My name is Alex Williams. I live on 66 Elk Crescent, Eastridge County, and up until this point, I've worked for the Lankman Foundation, a job which I have quickly come to regret. This is my story.
Ooh. Foundation Archive.
I began my work for the foundation pretty much the day it was founded. After what happened on Halloween, I was put under 24/7 witness protection.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually rewind, because that drop on that music hit and I accidentally started paying attention towards the music instead of dialogue. But we're gonna listen. I'm gonna make sure that I zone out music.
Founded. After what happened on Halloween, I was put under 24/7 witness protection. They told me that the information I had was too valuable. It felt like I was under constant house arrest. There wasn't a day that they weren't watching me, and it went on like that for years. They gave me my job at the foundation as a form of protection. bunch of guys in suits showed up to my house and told me that it would be for the better if I took a job at their new facility. I didn't know much about them at the time. Nobody did, really. All they told me was that they were helping Veldigan victims, but even that felt vague.
Lakeman Foundation. I knew there was something off about them.
Hello. You don't know me, but I certainly know you. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lankman, or at least a cartoon version of the man himself, created by our lovely in-house animator, Mortimer Gray, who you may know for his work on the classic cartoon series Candy Mouse. I come to you all today to announce the founding of the Lankman Foundation, a new gateway into the future of EASTRIDGE County. 4 years ago, our lovely town was plagued by a species of creature we have come to know as the Veldigan. These dangerous creatures have continued to threaten our residents, with there being seemingly no end to the dangers they pose. Until now, our lovely founder, Herbert Lankman, created our foundation for the purpose...
Why does he look like even older than the time period that this is set in? I don't know why, but he looks kind of inhuman. Especially with this very weird spot that almost reminds me of the teeth that the most prominent Veldigan that we've seen. But that could just be me looking too much. But he just does not look right. So there's like this that kind of looks like a face on this side. That could just be a distorted version of this, which it probably is. But anyways, Herbert Lankman.
Of both containing this anomalous threat, as well as treating all those who have been affected by them. How does he plan to do this, you ask? Well, the answer is quite simple. Using the inheritance left behind by his father, Herbert Lankman got to work renovating and reopening the old Lankman's Asylum, repurposing it into a massive treatment center for all those who have fallen victim to the Veldigan. As well as this, he has been hard at work donating generous amounts to EASTRIDGE County's police force, ensuring they can continue to do what they do best, protecting all of you. Here at the Lankman Foundation, we know these last couple of years have been scary, but don't worry. Soon enough, this will all be a...
Bro, that line, don't worry. I have no idea why, but as soon as I heard that, I got taken back to, but don't worry, your old friend Flowey's worked out a replacement for you. I don't know why that popped into my head. I guess it's just a similar way that was said that just brought me back. Nothing even related to what we're watching, but I just had to point that out that for some weird reason, I just got brought back to that.
Thing of the past. If you or anyone you may know have any questions regarding the foundation and what we do, do not hesitate to give us a call.
Instant. And you don't have time to wait for the commercial to be over. The night of April 6th, 1990, this phone call is made to the EASTRIDGE County Police Department. This tape acts as the only archive of this phone call. All the recordings are to be purged.
911. Where is your emergency?
This is 45 Elk Crescent. Send the police, please!
Can you describe the situation to me, ma'am?
Is that David Barron? Hang on.
Please!
Can you describe the situation to me, ma'am?
Yeah, that is David Barron. Nice cameo. I almost didn't even recognize him.
There's a group of men trying to break into my house. They're slamming on the door. Please send the police now!
The police will be on their way in a moment, ma'am. I just need you to breathe. Did you get a good look at these men? What did they look like?
I don't know what they look like. They're all wearing masks. I can't see their faces. They look all the same!
What kind of masks, ma'am?
Yellow ones? They're wearing yellow masks. Do they look like bandages? Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Wait. Oh, I almost didn't catch this. Oh, that definitely is supposed to be one of the suit men. So you can see the tie here, the body shape. Yeah, that is.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Whoa! Whoa!
After I started working at the Foundation, they immediately bombarded me and everyone else with all these different mandates and training tapes. Even for the most simple of jobs, there were rules for everything, and half the time they didn't even make sense. Perhaps the strangest mandate they had us commit to, though, was to wear these goggles at all times. They said it was a preventative measure to avoid the effects of some kind of hallucinatory environment. None of us knew what that was or how it was even possible. All they told us was that it would make you see and hear things, and that it was apparently used to keep patients in line. Something about treatment through exposure. We never really knew for sure if it was working, but all the patients seemed to suffer from similar symptoms that were said to be a part of it. They were always scared of us, no matter how much we tried to help them. And they always complained about hearing some kind of horrible music somewhere in the facility. What got to me the most about it, though, was how normal everyone treated it. Something beyond our understanding was being used on these people, and nobody seemed bothered by it but me. They all just treated it like it wasn't even happening.
Oh.
Here in the Lankman Asylum, it is imperative for all staff members to be aware of our state-of-the-art hallucinatory environment. Through this unique environment, we are able to keep all patients within our walls in line, as well as treat their conditions through exposure that no other location can provide.
Hallucinatory technology.
The amount of benefits this new technology can provide for the patients of our asylum is numerous, but you must remember that there are multiple precautions which have been put in place to ensure that you, our staff, do not suffer from the effects of our hallucinatory environment and can do your job correctly and safely. The first of these precautions should have been provided to you on your first day at the job in the form of these specialized optical lenses. By wearing these red lenses, staff members will be able to see past the environment's effects, allowing for no mistakes to be made and a job well done. If at any point these lenses are to be removed, staff members will experience severe hallucinations which will make your work extremely difficult. The second of
Benefits of hallucinatory technology: accessible treatment through exposure, better control over unruly patients, improved methods of concealment. Warping of the symptoms of optical hallucinations: warping of the environment around you entryways and exits appearing/disappearing, seeing people that do not
experience severe hallucinations, which will make your work extremely difficult. The second of these precautions comes in the form of knowing what you should and should not be hearing when on the job. Although we have yet to
symptoms of auditory hallucinations: the voices of people that do not exist, distant, discordant music, voice of Dr. Lankman, the knocking of doors and windows is what they said. Oh my god, that's tying back into the Halloween PSA, where that guy on the video says you do not hear the knocking on your doors and windows, which that's a neat callback to that.
Develop a solution for auditory hallucinations. Symptoms of them appear to follow a similar and predictable pattern. If you believe yourself to be hallucinating, ask yourself if you're hearing the voices of people that do not exist, distant music coming from an unknown location, Dr. Lankman requesting your aid, or the knocking of doors which do not exist. If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you are hallucinating and should treat those sounds as if they do not exist. Moving on from our patented hallucinatory experiment, we next must discuss the role of another very important part of our facility. It is imperative that all staff members avoid any form of contact with
the caretakers were possibly the most disturbing part about working in that entire facility. They were these tall, bandaged staff members who were dressed in black from top to bottom. I don't even think I ever saw them outside of their uniform. We were always expressly told never to interact with them for any reason. Apparently their job was just that important. It was with them that I reached my breaking point when working at that damn place. I always saw them going into patients' rooms, taking them to places that I never got to see. I always wondered what they were doing, but I made sure to mind my own business. That is until late one night when I was working at the facility. They had just brought in a new patient, a woman who looked to be in about her 30s. She had no diagnosis, no sign of serious mental illness, and physically she was fine. None of us knew what she was doing there, but like we always did, we just ignored it and minded our own business. That night though, she starts a ruckus. I think every person in the facility heard it when she started screaming. I was the first one to arrive when I saw what was happening. 4 of those caretakers dragging her out by her arms and legs while she's just kicking and screaming. I couldn't believe what I'd seen. I tried running in to stop them, but one of my coworkers stopped me, looked me in the eyes and said, "It isn't worth it." I was in disbelief. These caretakers were treating Veldigan victims like caged animals, and here we were just standing there and watching. That was when I knew I had to do something about it. I always had my suspicions about the asylum, but seeing how this treatment facility treated its patients, that was the final straw. I went to as many of my coworkers as I could to try and get as much information as possible about the foundation and their shady practices. I wanted to bring these problems to the light, to have the general public know what was really going on in there. But of course, none of them wanted anything to do with me. They just brushed me off and told me that it wasn't worth it, that it would bring more trouble. But I ignored them and I kept trying. When I ran out of staff to talk to, eventually I turned to patients. More specifically, the woman I saw getting attacked that night. I wanted to know where they took her, what they did to her. So I snuck into her room late that night with a camcorder that I brought, and I was able to record an entire interview I had with her, and I was just left with so many questions.
And that little static is us transitioning.
Please don't hurt me. I promise I'll behave. I don't want to go back.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you, I promise. I'm just here to ask a few questions is all. I'm sorry about what happened to you the other night. It was horrible. I want to try and make sure that doesn't happen again. And it would help a lot if you could answer my questions.
Okay.
Alright, thank you. Okay, so my first question. Why were you brought here? You didn't have any diagnosis, and you don't seem to suffer from any symptoms of Veldigan sickness.
I don't know why I'm here. These men broke into my house. Nobody came to help me. The doctor told me I'm sick, but I don't know what he means. I'm sorry if that doesn't help.
It's okay, don't worry. That helps a lot. You're doing great. Now, my next question. That night when you were attacked here, I know it must be a lot, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but do you know where they took you?
I don't know. He told me I can't tell anybody. I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. He said he would take me back there. And I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. You're not going to go back there. I promise. I just need to know where it was. Nobody else will know.
They took me to room 66.
What? No, that's not possible. There's only...
Oh!
It's him!
Just try
He's going to take me back now! Please help me take him back!
He isn't going to take
Don't let him take me back! Don't let him take me back!
For a moment,
Just what do you think you're doing?
Everything that happened was just a blur after that. Those caretakers came into the room and dragged her out before I could even do anything about it. It was the last time I ever saw her. And then they just sent me back to work as if the whole thing never even happened. That in itself was odd, but it was what she said to me that stuck out to me the most. She told me that she was taken to a room 66, which didn't make any sense. The asylum was small. It was only built with 65 rooms in mind, so a 66th room shouldn't be possible. At first I thought maybe she was misremembering things, or she was just misspeaking. I mean, she was clearly stressed out, and the way she was taken there was violent, but that just didn't explain things for me. I still didn't know where the patients were being taken, and what if she was telling the truth? I tried to look for answers to that question for a while, and nothing came of it. Nothing until I started to watch through our old conversations. During one of my watch-throughs, I saw something off the corner of my eye. Something I had never seen until it was staring me right in the face. A camera. A camera located right in the corner of that room. The asylum didn't have cameras, at least not in the rooms of its patients. If I had known they were watching me the entire time, I never would have staged that interview, and somehow I didn't see it? Something wasn't adding up. I went back to the asylum after that and checked the rooms of several patients. No cameras. I thought that I was losing my mind. I thought for a moment that maybe I was just seeing things. But then I realized something. Maybe I was. Late one night when no one else was around, I tested something. Something I was afraid to. I removed those goggles they gave us. And when I opened my eyes, everything looked the exact fucking same. Everything started to make sense after that. Who knows what they could have been hiding that we just couldn't see?
Oh my God. That... Oh. I know what they were doing. They weren't having the goggles on to prevent them from have those visual hallucinations. They put those goggles on the staff so they would hallucinate. That is a sick twist.
Cameras, people, rooms. Suddenly, room 66 was terrifyingly possible, and I was going to find it. I returned to the asylum later that night with a camcorder in hand. I figured that if it could show me where the cameras were in the corners of the patients' rooms, then it could help me find what I was looking for. I walked up and down the halls of that entire asylum, trying to find anything out of place. And eventually, I found it. I stood in front of that door for what felt like an eternity. A part of me wanted to know what was in there so badly, but another part of me just didn't want to see it. I was terrified, but I felt like I didn't have a choice. It didn't even feel like I was in control of my own body as I pushed that door open.
This music is fitting so well. Oh my god.
Help me.
Looks like someone wandered somewhere they aren't supposed to be.
In that moment, cornered and alone, I finally understood what they were so afraid of. I was finally seeing what they were seeing. For the first time, I saw his face. After that, I didn't know what to do. I panicked, I couldn't move. And he just stood there for a moment, staring at me. But then he let me go. He just told me to go back to work and act like it didn't happen. Work continued after that. I was too scared to find out what would happen if I didn't come back to the asylum, so I just continued my work there as normal. I was never punished, nobody ever found out. It was like the whole thing never happened. Until recently. The reason I'm recording this tape tonight is because I fear soon you may never hear from me again. For a while, Lankman acted like that night never happened, but ever since the recent incident, things have changed. He and the caretakers have become more aggressive. I've started seeing things. Cars passing me by with tinted windows, people following me off the corner of my eye, staff treating me like I don't even exist. Recently, it feels like they don't want me talking anymore. Someone I know and care about has been hurt, and they've given me a job that doesn't even fit my credentials. They've made me research somebody very dangerous, and I have my suspicions that once I've told them everything they need to know, they won't need me anymore. That's why I'm recording this tape. I've learned things about this person, things that Lankman doesn't even know, things that could help me. After I'm done recording this tape, I'm going to be meeting with that person, and depending on how that goes, you may never hear from me again. If you're watching this, I've left you something important. The last thing my friend was able to provide me with before they got to him. An archive of all the Foundation's most important tapes. It contains everything, every lie they've told, every secret they've kept, every recording I've made. If I don't come back from this, you need to spread that information. The people need to know. I don't want to go about this alone, but as things are, I've had no choice. It just feels good to finally get this off my chest.
Cool. That was awesome. Oh my, bro. That was awesome. I had a great time with this. Paistra, you have done an amazing job with this. I I have no words. I knew that this foundation was not any good, and I was proven right. So, I think that the foundation owner, Dr. Lankman, is a Vindigo? Is a Vindigan? I think. Maybe. I don't really know, but I think I've basically have covered this entire series as hopefully good enough for a watch. And I have nothing really else to say. No theories. I'm not that kind of good at theories. But I will see you all in the next one. Peace.